Hey there, YouTube. JP back for another JP Gaming. Happy Monday. Here we are, Hearthstone all day, every day. A lot of people have been complaining recently about the state of Standard, and I tend to agree. We've talked about it before. There is a lot of either pirate, aggro from the big three, your warrior pirates, your rogue pirates, and your shaman pirates. On the other end of the coin, if you're not playing that pirate package, then you're playing Reno. Slow control Reno decks. That's mage, warlock, and priest to a certain small sample. And priests are in there too with the dragon priest. But point of the story is you either got aggro pirates, and when I say aggro, I mean trying to kill you as quick as possible, or Reno style control decks that are trying to grind the game out. And at different time and different place, there was all different kinds of Hearthstone decks, and unfortunately they just fallen out of favor because they don't have very good win percentages against those two decks we just talked about. But we're not here to play what people tell us to play, so we're going to actually break out an old tempo mage deck. Fell out of favor right before Mean Streets of Gadgetzan. So we'll take a quick look. The one victory on this quest is from that tempo mage, so hopefully we will get a second win. You guys won't think I'm complete garbage because I think we've lost the last few. But so enough talk. Let's take a quick look at the deck, and I'll talk about the key differences between what this deck's trying to do and what most mage decks are trying to do currently. If my client doesn't crash here. So real quick before we look at this, if we take a look at I have two Reno decks up here. They're basically the same, but what the Reno deck is you only get one of every card in your deck, so that your Reno Jackson, if your deck has no duplicates, fully heal your hero. So only one of, and that's cool. And I like Reno decks, don't get me wrong, a lot more than playing aggro, but I do also like playing multiples of spells, so that you can have a more, I don't want to say consistent opener because that sounds like aggro, but just have a game plan, and it feels good when that game plan goes off. So the game plan of a tempo mage is establish board control with low cost but high value creatures such as Mana Worm, Cult Sorcerer, and Sorcerer's Apprentice, and then maintain that board control by using all of this early game removal to deal with all their creatures in early to mid game, and keep your creatures on board just chipping away to the point where late game you don't care if they put down big creatures that you can't go around, because you can finish the game quickly with large damage spells to face. So you'll rarely ever see this card played, Pyroblast, deal 10 damage. But the idea is we want to, by turn 4 or 5, be in a position that we can close the game out with stuff like Forgotten Torch, Fireball, Firelens Portal, and if worse comes to worse, if the game goes long, we want to keep them low enough that we can Pyroblast the face or score Ragnaros to the face, whatever. Face is the name of the game, but we're not as quick as aggro, and we're reliant on Reno not drawing Reno. So we're kind of in a weird spot, and that's why a lot of people aren't playing this deck right now. But again, we're here to have fun and explore other aspects of the game other than patches in Reno. So enough talk. Let's load up a standard ladder match here. One second. Alright. So just wait for Hearthstone to find our opponent here. One good thing about playing off decks is it catches people by surprise. So not so much of a surprise here because it's a mirror match, but if any person we go up against is immediately going to assume Reno. As soon as we play basically anything in our hand, though, they will know. I mean, I don't know of any Reno deck that plays Mana Worm. But that being said, this is a pretty good opener. We're going to dump Fireland's Portal. And our play is going to be Mana Worm on 1. On 2, we're going to drop Sorcerer's Apprentice, which will discount Arcane Missiles down to 0. We could then, if necessary, cast Arcane Missiles onto pumping Mana Worm. And away we go. So let's see if this works out for us. Pretty good pickup for us. It's an interesting matchup. A mirror match, that's weird. But a mirror match back in the day, Tempo versus Tempo, was really fun. One of my favorite matchups, and the reason being is because you have a lot of great low cost removals such as Frostbolt, and so knowing when to use that on what had a lot of micro decisions that I felt impacted decision making. So we could throw it all away, but I'm actually going to hold on to everything because next turn we can play Flame Waker and start to get crazy. So this seems counterintuitive, but it was a kind of a weird tell by him also for hero powering into the Mana Worm. It would be great if this doesn't pick up either clear, which is fine. So yeah, it picked up all the clears. Whatever. Question is, do we want to run this guy out? I think so. Consideration being, you don't really want to run a Flamewalker out when you're not going to get a lot of good value off of it. Typically, you would want to save this for when you have board to clear, but we don't know if he's ever going to have a board. That would be why you don't do that. Let's see. So now the real question is, what kind of deck are we up against? Not uncommon to see Forbidden Flames in a Reno deck. We've only seen one ofs. So, the worst card we could possibly draw off of that Spellslinger.
I wonder.
It's good to use our Forgotten Torches early. Forgotten Torches are shuffled back into your deck as 6 damage spells, so we've essentially shuffled 12 damage back into our deck for later. And this is unbelievable. Like, we are playing a tempo deck. So we're gonna hold all this low costed removal in our hands, hoping that we pull our second Flamewalker. But anyways, what I was saying, this is a tempo deck. This is unheard of. not only do you never see tempo played, but when we decide to play it, think we're a special flower. The first match on camera that we get up against is a freaking... Alright, so let's go here. So we're up a card against them, but we have this piece of shit in our hand. We have no beasts, so it's just dead. What a weird ass deck. I've never seen a curator tempo deck. So weird. Keeping it open though. We want a Flame Waker. Another good card in a low board state would be this is just insane. Like what? I don't know. Who the fuck plays this shit? Okay. Alright, we'll do another one after this. This is pretty much a lost cause at this point. We would have needed that arcane to go into the 5-2. I must be out of the loop because I've never seen this garbage deck before. There's no way we're gonna win with Malagos on the table. All right. That is crazy. Again, we just saw a leprechaun. Alright. Honestly, guys, I'm okay at this game, I promise. Okay. You asked for it. Got the Mana Worm in the opener, which is good. Got the Arcane Blast, which will answer his Small Time Buccaneer, which is great. We're going to dump the Pyroblast and be greedy and keep the Flame Waker. Should be called Flame Walker. So here comes Small Time Buccaneers from Scabber. Okay. We can deal with that. So we will throw this down knowing that there is a 25% chance, I'd say a higher. So he has a 25% or 25% chance of rolling the spell totem that we spend all of our time talking about. He could also drop the Blood Mage of Thalanos, which he's probably trying to be cute and queue up on that far right side. So let's watch Blood Mage come out here. We're okay with that. We're okay with that. So we're okay with all this. It's a little troubling that he's got steady shot because he's guaranteeing 2 damage every turn as long as he's... But we're okay for a race. He can no longer roll spell damage totem for a spirit clause. So best case scenario would be he drops blood mage, which is there, which means he can't do the 2 damage here. So effectively, there was no change that turn. Okay, so now we're going to hopefully see the power of Flame Waker. So we drop Flame Waker, 2/4. Then we play the coin, which counts as a spell. So Flame Waker triggers and does 2 damage. Beautiful. And then we are going to play Arcane Missiles, which would do 3 damage, randomly split among all enemies. Okay, now we just need 1 to go to this dog right here. Thank you. And we're in a pretty good spot. Hopefully. My reputation's on the line here. That's expected. Nothing we can do about that overpowered card. But we do have a nice answer cleanup here. Only consideration being... No, I think we'll go ahead and keep the board clear. My thought was we could play the Arcane Intellect, drawing 2 cards. But I actually like that better on next turn, turn 5, because we'll have more things to do with the leftover mana. It's kind of a weird clear, but we're going all the way with it. Arcane Blasts are good against early board, or good with spell damage. Our deck does play Drakes, but my thinking there was the Faceless is just too powerful uncontrolled. Alright, pretty good for us. Get to be able to recharge. Having 2 Forgotten Torches in hand is nice. So here actually... Okay, so next turn he could play... The only thing that would bite us here, and I'm actually going to go here, but the only consideration I thought about was frostbolting him. That would be that he couldn't swing back with the weapon next turn. My one fear is he plays Drake and his second Spirit Claws. And the Spirit Claws could swing in and clear here. But if he's got Jade Lightning anyways, it don't matter. What do we got? So let's... We're dedicated to keeping the board clear at this point. One problem with this deck, though, is if you spend all of your removal that can go face to clearing his board, eventually you're going to run out of damage to do to close the game away. Torches are really good, though, because, again, we're investing a little bit of damage to get more damage out of them. Alright. So, last chance here. I feel like, depending on what he plays, we may or may not be able to turn this around. What we don't want to see is an Aya Darkpaw or more Jade Golems. That actually is something that we can deal with.
One shot, one kill.
What could we want?
Let's make magic.
Okay. So here he's going to clear the Bloodwaker for free, basically, off of that Feral Spirits. Okay, he might not clear now. I don't know what he's doing. So he's gonna race us. Well, that said, I don't think this matters either way. The only consideration would be if we draw the Pyroblast next turn, we wouldn't be able to cast a 10-drop spell, obviously, and Blood Mage. But in this board state, we would still have lethal, and the only way he could really get out of this board state would be to board clear, which he could easily do off of whatever he tops decks. And so the Blood Mage in that situation would only be good as drawing us a second card. But with that being said, since we're both so have no cards in hand, I think that's a weird corner case. So we don't want to see Elemental Lightning. Probably doesn't have it since he's swinging. Six, 8, 9. We did it, boys. See what I'm talking about? That right there, we had what, a 1 in 13. Sometimes you gotta get lucky, kids. But we're gonna wait till the last second. It's not BM, you know what I'm saying? Give him the well played. Oh, that feels good. So glad we didn't lose 2 there. So funny that we lost the first one to the mirror match. Gotta give props to anybody willing to play outside of meta. So there we go. Got our second mage victory of the day, clearing off this little shitty quest. We're moving ever closer to our massive pack poppin' party. Currently at 13 packs. So maybe once we hit 20 packs, we will pop them all and make a sweet deck. But glad that we got the win. Glad that we could all be together on this beautiful Monday. Thanks for watching me eat a salad. Come back tomorrow for your daily dose of Hearthstone. And also stay tuned. This week we're going to try something a little different. We're going to be breaking away and doing our first Let's Play that is not Hearthstone. So stay tuned for that. I believe it will be a Telltale Games point-and-click adventure. But yeah, thanks for watching. Give me a like or a thumbs up. And take care.